This is Misfortune Radio with New York Times best-selling author and your host, Doug Andrew.
Well, listen, let me talk for a few minutes about why I don't own an IRA or 401k and never have and never will. I've talked about this several times on Misfortune Radio, and if you're like many Americans, maybe you've seen 30, 40, 50% in losses on the value of your IRAs and 401ks in the last couple of years. But I predict the worst hit is yet to come, and it's not maybe what you think. So recovering from losses can be tough. For example, if your account lost 50% of its value, do you know it has to experience 100% gain just to get back to break even, back up to, if you had $100,000 in your IRAs or 401ks 2 years ago and now it's only worth $50,000, that $50,000 has to have 100% gain to get back to $100,000 again. That could take at a 7.2% average annual rate of return 10 years in order for you to achieve that or get back to break even. But really, that's not all that we should be worried about. I've talked to many people who are elderly who used to be earning 6, 7, 8% on their IRAs and 401ks. Now they have half that much money and it's only earning 2 or 3 or 4%. So they really only have about 1/4 of the retirement income they used to have. If this sounds familiar to you, I have some solutions for you here. But despite all of these losses, I really think the biggest loss that you will ever incur is the day that you begin to withdraw your money out of these qualified retirement plans. I've told you stories about clients and school teachers and people who came to me several years ago for financial planning, and they thought they were going to be in a lower tax bracket when they retired. And when they did finally retire, they found themselves in as higher bracket as they've ever been in because they had killed their best partner, Uncle Sam, in the process by, paying off their house and getting rid of that deduction. They're no longer contributing money to these accounts, so they don't have that deduction, and the kids are all gone, hopefully. And so they find themselves with even a lower income sometimes, but no deduction. So they find themselves paying the highest taxes they've ever paid in their life. And whenever I ask people, do you believe that future tax rates are going to be the same or lower? Nobody raises their hands when I talk to audiences about that. If you believe they're going to be higher in the future, do you want to postpone tax to some future perceived unknown advantage and then withdraw your money when you're convinced you're going to be at a higher tax bracket? I guarantee you, with all this stimulus package and all this federal spending and national health care that's being proposed, one thing is inevitable. Future tax rates will be higher. So what do? For this reason, I don't own an IRA or 401k. I've told you I never have and never will. There are better ways to save and have tax-free retirement income. And even this last week, I read an article that indicated that many employers now are no longer contributing the matched portion. And even if they did at one time, they're going to freeze that so you cannot access it. And so many employers are having to freeze those accounts. But even if your employer did match 50 cents on the dollar, they're just covering your future tax liability. If you put in $1 and they give you 50 cents on that dollar, you think you're getting a 50% return? No, you're just getting 50% more to start with. Guess who that 50 cents is going to belong to? That's right, Uncle Sam. And in 41 out of 50 states, also the governor in your state with a state income tax in addition to the federal income tax. And guess who all the growth on that 50 cents belongs to? That's right, future taxes. And so, matching can be beneficial, but even many employers are starting to freeze those. But you need to be aware that when you withdraw that money, you will have to pay probably at least 1/3 of that back. And I would recommend that you don't put $1 more into an IRA or 401k than you're being matched on.
This is Misfortune Radio with Doug Andrew.